So guys, today I just started this video for one reason, and one reason in particular, and that is all the commentary channels on YouTube that are making the platform extremely toxic. Like, of course there's some good commentary channels on YouTube, which, can't remember if it's, Lovely Peaches or Yuki Buns that said it, The Right Opinion and Ponder Sprocket, I think that's what she's called. But obviously those are good people who take time and they write out both sides of the story. But there are also extremely toxic people. I'm not going to name names because there's too many of them, who I think their entire goal is to bring other people down. And a lot of these commentary channels in particular, Madame, honestly, they got canceled because they did something very wrong, right? And they lied about people. But, I think it should be a no-brainer that if there is drama going on, do not try and capitalize off that drama. Instead, try and see both sides of the story. Like, in the case of Tati Westbrook versus James Charles, we never got to see James's side of the story because he never really got a platform to defend himself on. Everybody was just, oh, James Charles is a bad person straight from the get-go, so we never saw both sides of the story. But in cases like Madame versus, can't remember her name, that one artist girl, I literally just followed her today. You know, that whole drama. We got to hear both sides of the story because Madame obviously had a platform to defend herself on, even though she was still in the wrong. And so did the 15-year-old artist. This is more of a rant post because, well, I'm just tired of so many kids and adults getting canceled, so to speak, just because of, one stupid mistake they made. Like James Charles, sure, he may have seemed like a bad person because of what Tati had said, but as much as I despise him because my sister plays his videos and it annoys the crap out of me, but there's no way he's really secretly a bad person. And Jeffree Star, bringing him up, he needs to stop capitalizing off this YouTube drama. I have noticed a trend in Jeffree. Like, when the whole Davey Vanity thing was going on, back whenever he was still relevant. Well, when he was first relevant. And it started coming out that he was a pedophile. Jeffree was like, oh my god, I do not support him. I do not support pedophiles, and it makes me sick I ever toured with him. But now that Davey Vanity is coming back into the spotlight, Jeffree Star is all like, way to go, I knew you could make it. I've always supported you. You see how twisted that is? I honestly think he just has this immense pressure, really, that, oh, if I'm not liked, I'm a bad person. Which is not true at all, Jeffrey. Like, I'm not well liked by a ton of people. Does that make me a bad person? No. What makes you a bad person is stuff you've done in the past. Stuff you're doing in the present. Not whether you're liked or not. Like, when the whole James Charles situation was going on, he was, like, not in defense of James Charles at all. He was against him. But now he's, like, friends with James Charles. I'm not saying that people can't change. I'm just saying that to deliberately change your view on somebody based on whether they're liked by the mass audience or not is so twisted. And I'm serious. Like, I see this problem with a ton of people. It is so twisted and wrong that you're gauging whether you're friends with someone based on whether people like them or not. That's like me going out on a limb and saying, oh, my friend did this, and my friend did this in a moment of rage. Therefore, she is not a good person. You see how fucking twisted that is? Like, obviously, some things that people are doing, their actions are not justifiable, like in the Davy Vanity case. But a lot of people, their actions are justifiable. Like, if somebody's acting out of rage and they can't control themselves in a moment of anger. A lot of people can't. Like, if I were just to, like, get angry and throw my toaster at the wall or something. Not saying I'd actually do that, but I'm just trying to make a case here. If I were to get angry and throw my toaster at the wall, it doesn't mean I'm a toaster hater. It just means I was very angry in that point in time, and the only way of letting it out was to throw my toaster against the wall. To me, it's pretty twisted that you're gauging, cancel culture in general is gauging whether they like someone or not based on what somebody might have done out of rage. Somebody might have done out of pure spite. Like, it just hurts me to see that people are like going and deleting their channels, deleting their Instagrams, sometimes even deleting their lives because they're getting canceled. Like false rape accusations. That can ruin a man's life. I'm just tired of seeing it. And, another thing is that kind of people are like, it's the biggest controversy I've seen right now. Shane Dawson, he's done blackface. People are saying he's a pedophile. Like, sure, he's done blackface. Sure, that's a thing of the past. Sure, he's capitalized off of his own blackface. Those are all very unjustifiable actions. But, like, my point is, everybody's so against Shane Dawson right now when tomorrow, no offense, Trisha, I literally love your content, but Trisha Paytas can end up crying on the floor and being the big cause of all the controversy again. You see how twisted that is, people? For the world to all of a sudden be like, one day be like, hey, this person's a bad person because of what they're doing currently, what they did in the past, and whatnot. And then the next day to go and be like, oh, this person did this stupid thing, so now the whole entire world's against them. When in reality, that person from previous, their actions are still way unjustifiable. It's just that the attention's been shifted from that person onto the next. It's like everybody's a victim of cancel culture at some point or another. Hell, even after this video goes up, I might myself be a victim of cancel culture. Even though I'm not a big channel, cancel culture is going to be like, oh, you're insulting cancel culture, so therefore you are canceled. Not gonna lie, I used to heavily follow cancel culture. Like, don't get me wrong with this, I'm still a D'Angelo Wallace fan, 100%. But I used to take everything he said, like, religiously. Like, oh, this person did this thing wrong. They're obviously a bad person. They're obviously so horrible that they deserve the world against them. When in reality, that's just not the case. You don't know if they did this thing in a moment of rage, or as an outcry, or even as a cry for help. I know there are some people who will act out instead of admitting they need help. Like, a lot of people who their actions are purely side effect of refusing the fact that they need help with their mental health. And they're just like, oh, I'll do this, and maybe someone will recognize I need help. Maybe someone will see that my mental health is a side effect of this. Or, this is a side effect of my mental health. Obviously, these people are sorry for what they're doing, but they just need someone to recognize, hey, this person may be doing this just because they need help. They're just waiting for that one person to see that and be like, hey, I felt like doing something similar, and I recently went to a therapist and was diagnosed with this problem. Maybe this person has it, and we can talk it through, let them know that they're not alone. Obviously, I'm not saying you should do that with literally everyone, because some people are like, oh, I don't need help with my mental health. The fact that you're just generalizing everybody who does similar stuff has problems with their mental health, and they'll bitch about it, basically. But there are people out there who know that their actions are not those of a mentally sane person, not of someone who is in the right place mentally. A lot of these people, in their apologies videos they were forced to make because people were canceling them, are saying, I've been going through some tough times, and this was my way of coping. I hear that a lot in apology videos. I'm not even gonna try and cover it up. I hear that a lot. 90% of what I hear is, well, maybe not 90%, but a lot of what I hear is, such and such happened, and it impacted me in such a way that it caused me to start acting out. My mental health is not in the place it could be, or should be right now, and therefore I acted out instead of accepting that I needed help. Why is that a common theme in all of these apology videos? It's because people are refusing to acknowledge that mental health is just as important as physical health. Anyway, now that that's out of the way, I'm just gonna have you guys watch me finish the rest of this drawing. Maybe not put color into it, because that'll take a long time, and I basically just put across the point I wanted to put across. In only 16 minutes, and I'm not done with this drawing, so yeah, that's just the point I wanted to get across, because I'm tired of people. Like, I'm tired of people just one day. Sometimes these people are little children or very, very young adults who they don't know that they weren't supposed to do that. Like, there's no way James Charles could have known that as soon as he decided to support this rival vitamin company, Tati Westbrook was going to get all bitchy and, what's the word I'm looking for? You know that word when someone's really, like, bitchy, but they're jealous, so it kind of like defends them acting that way. Oh yeah, I'll just say jealous. There's no way James Charles could have known Tati Westbrook was just gonna get all jealous and be like, oh, James Charles is a bad person, blah blah blah, because he didn't endorse Halo Beauty or whatever her company is called. Instead, he endorsed this rival brand. There's no way James Charles could have known that. He's a literal 19-year-old. Or he was 19 at that point. Tati Westbrook was in her 30s. There's no way a 19-year-old could have guessed that a 30-year-old, because 30-year-olds are supposed to be mature, by the way. But I guess Tati Westbrook's just not mature. There's no way he could have gauged that a mature 30-year-old was going to go out and outright cancel him for being a quote-unquote bad person. Just because he decided, hey, this is a company that's willing to pay me for advertising their products. There's no way he could have guessed that, because in his eyes, Tati Westbrook is this mature 30-year-old woman. whom he most likely looked up to. And there's no way that Slamar's a literal 15-year-old could have gauged that a 19 going on 20-year-old was gonna be like, oh, you're just bugging me about credit, so I'm gonna flat out lie and say that you fabricated everything. You see this trend? Adults are picking on literal kids and younger adults for the sake of they want to say they canceled somebody. It's just not right, people. So I hope you've learned from this video why I'm kind of against cancel culture now. And why I will no longer support people who actively partake in cancel culture. Thanks for listening to me rant about this. Now just enjoy me finishing this drawing.